This is the Windone K2 Fat Tire Urban Explorer. Look at this thing. I absolutely love this thing. It looks like a little motorcycle. And in fact, it's probably closer to a motorcycle than it is an e-bike, and we're gonna get to that. But let's go over some features really quick. It's a 500 watt motor, but with a 700 watt peak. That's significant. We'll talk about that. It has a 7-speed rear derailleur. Look at this. Passenger pegs. See what I mean? It's a little motorcycle-esque. Here is our battery. Kind of an odd seat for an e-bike. Not an odd seat for a motorcycle. 20-inch wheels. Mag wheels. Look at that. No spokes here. Fenders front and rear. A awfully cool little retro headlight, hydraulic brakes. We have our little control panel and our gauge, and it's a very nice gauge. Now, something really significant about this bike is it's actually set up like a motorcycle. This is our front brake, like on a motorcycle. This is our throttle. It is a twist throttle like a motorcycle. The horn, how cute is that? It's where the starter button would be if you're on a motorcycle. And then our rear brake is over here. So the brakes are backwards to an American bicycle. That's important. I don't know why American bicycles are set up backwards, but they are. The rest of the world, this is the front brake, this is the rear brake. If you have a scooter, like a little gas scooter, front brake, rear brake. If you have a four-wheeler, front brake, rear brake. If you have a bicycle in America, rear brake, front brake. Nobody knows. I mean, I think this thing is awfully charming. This little motorcycle, this little Steve McQueen motorcycle. Let's take it for a ride. But first, how hard was it to put together? We're gonna find out. Let's get to it. Oh, in the box, and there it is. The website says it's pretty much assembled, but I don't see any handlebars on it. Lots of zip ties, just lots of extras. I'm afraid it sounds like there's a lot of things that we're gonna have to put together. Oh yes, lots of things. The rear shock. I think this is gonna be a slightly more involved assembly process. I don't think I'm even gonna attempt to try to save the box here. All right. I'm just gonna start cutting at random. A 20-inch wheel. I think that's the size wheels the bikes we rode as kids, right? Oh, check it out. It's got like sealed bearings in the hub. It is like a little motorcycle, isn't it? I think oh, it's a headlight. Oh my gosh, it's a headlight. Oh, look at that headlight. I love it. I freaking love it. Oh my gosh. I haven't even gotten very far and I'm already in love with this thing. This thing's fantastic. All right, first things first, I want to get this handlebar on here. 6mm Allen key. Something very important with these kind of clamps. If you clamp down one or one side than the other, it'll stress this aluminum and it'll crack. So it's absolutely imperative to tighten it down a little bit at a time, bring them all down evenly and together. I love this right here. These little guys to hold the headlight on. That's exactly how it's done on a motorcycle. Freaking charming. Already totally into this thing. Haven't even started it up yet. Cannot wait to go for a ride. This thing's gonna rock. I can tell you now. I flipped it upside down. I'm super careful about the rear fender when I turned it over, but this makes getting the front wheel in a lot easier because the instructions did not give us any insight into where these spacers go. The small spacer goes on the disc side. The big spacer goes on the non-disc side. Now we know, and knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe. This is how you change the shock on a mountain bike. You do it while it's laying on its side, because then there's very little stress on the rear swing arm. Well, their cute little logo gets covered up by the headlight. It's pretty selfless of them. Headlight plugged in. Oh man, we're right there. We're right there. Oh, I love it. I freaking love it. There it is, assembled, the Windone Urban Explorer. Back to the ride. All right, wasn't bad to put together. The hardest part of putting it together was getting the rear shock in place and the spacers on the front wheel. They wasn't really clearly identified how they went. We figured it out. Now for the good stuff. Let's take this thing for a ride. So first thoughts on this beautiful early morning, the sun hitting the city over there, is doesn't feel so much like a bicycle. The seating position isn't super conducive to pedaling. It's like riding your BMX bike as a kid. You can do it, but you're not going to be pedaling big long distances. So I think my first thought is this really is and should be thought of more of as a little electric motorcycle over the bridge. And then we're going to do our speed test because this thing claims it'll do like 28, 29 miles an hour. Let's see what it'll do on our little downhill run. Here we go. Speed limit 20 miles an hour. And already 30 miles an hour. No pedaling here. 36, I saw 37, 38, 39. Are we gonna hit 40 miles at 41? 42 miles an hour. 42 miles an hour. That's quick. We're only in power mode 1. 42 miles an hour in power mode 1. Here come our tight turns. You know, a bike that's capable of 42 miles an hour, how well does it handle the turns? Not bad, pretty nice. The wheels are kind of a little on the small side compared to most e-bikes these days. So a smaller wheel will change direction a little quicker than a big wheel. So a lot of your e-bikes right now are 26 inch or even 29 inch. So it's a little bit more responsive, as they would say. Now time for the uphills. I'm not pedaling, I'm just going up this hill, and we're going up the hill at 20 miles an hour, trying not to hit the other bicycle. 18 miles an hour. Not bad, I'm not even pedaling. I haven't pedaled yet. Twisting the throttle. I am definitely exceeding the posted limit at 10 miles an hour. I'm almost 10 over the posted limit. It's crazy. Beautiful morning. Oh my goodness. Still cool. Says the trail's closed. I wonder what that means. We might have to do some urban exploring on our Windone K2 Fat Tire Urban Explorer. All right, here's the big test. 11% grade, uphill. I'm not pedaling. We're just gonna see what it does because that's how this thing wants to be ridden. Not pedaling. 20 miles an hour, we're to the steep part. 16, still not pedaling. 15, oh, you can tell it's working. 13, 14 miles an hour, 13 miles an hour up and 11% grade. How cool is that? That is a steep hill. 11% grade. Sun's coming up. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. This thing has fenders, full fenders. So when you find yourself splashing through the puddles, you don't have to worry about getting that big stripe of water up your back or up your front because a lot of that splash comes off the front tire. 30 miles an hour in a 15 mile an hour zone. Through the nice little turns, awfully stable. I'm embarrassed to honk the horn. There's gonna be someone here. We're gonna do it anyway. Plenty loud. Haha. So we're going freaking 30 miles an hour. Haven't pedaled once. I really like that it has a traditional motorcycle throttle, a twist to go throttle. I'm not a big fan of the thumb flappy paddle things. This is just more intuitive. But maybe that's because I ride motorcycles as well as bicycles. Ooh, a little chilly down in here. So let's talk about that for a second. Not the chilly part, the fact that it's more of a motorcycle than it is a bicycle. I kind of feel like I'm cheating on the bike path. I kind of feel like I should be riding on the street. It's kind of like cheating the system, this thing. But, you know, it cannot be denied. It's a lot nicer. You're not dealing with traffic. Well, aside from pedestrian traffic, you're not dealing with cars running you over and buses and all that nonsense. 8% grade, 30 miles an hour. We haven't even switched power modes. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. This thing claims to have almost a 50-mile range. That's crazy to me. Let's do a lap around the park, a lap around Sugar House Park. Boy, it is wet in the park today. See, power mode 1, oh, we're gonna get wet. I don't wanna get wet. It's gonna be cold. Little off-road test. Let's do a little off-roading. This thing actually does fine off-road. We're gonna get this thing all dirty. Woohoo! Yeah, full suspension, chunky tires. I mean, just grass. We're not doing anything too burly. Back onto the asphalt. Makes this thing very adaptable. You can ride this thing pretty much anywhere. 27 miles an hour. It seems a little too fast, truth be told. Nice and empty and quiet, the park this morning. Let's see what she'll do. I mean, I still haven't really pedaled. Just putting that out there. Of course, the battery has dropped 1 bar by me not pedaling. There is, however, a slight problem with the pedaling. You see these brackets right down here? If you pedal, I keep hitting my knees on those little brackets. And the bike also really wants me to kind of stand up and pedal like that. And boy, I really thwack my knees on those little brackets. So it's more of an e-motorcycle with pedals on it so nobody yells at you for riding the bike path. It's trundling along 26 miles an hour, not pedaling. How cool is that? Look, we're keeping up with traffic. See? Look at that. Look at that. 26 miles an hour. This is quick. Our Windone K2 Fat Tire Urban Explorer, exploring the urbans. Are you guys ready for the other power modes? See if this is what power mode 1 is like. What are the other power modes like? Here, we're gonna go all the way up to power mode 5. Are you ready for this? All right, I'm not touching the throttle. We're gonna go full throttle. Let's see what it does. Yeah, I can't tell any difference either. It seems to behave exactly the same in power mode 1 as it does in power mode 5. So I don't even know what the power modes are for. Power mode 1 seems plenty good to me, and I don't know if it's gonna save the battery or use any more battery, but yeah, I just leave it in power mode 1. I have to confess, however, that I've been riding this one an awful lot. This one is really, really fun, and because it is kind of more motorcycle-esque, it's almost a little easier to just grab and run an errand on. You know, like an e-bike's great. I love them. Have a couple of them. Bicycles, great. Love them. Push bikes. But this, because it is so much like a little motor scooter, like a little Vespa kind of a thing, it's just less work, man. Like, I'm not gonna pedal. I know I'm not gonna pedal. I'm just gonna like run to the post office, run to the grocery store, do what I need to do. The passenger pegs, I mean, we have not put the missus on the back. I don't think she would be into that, but you could. I think more realistically though, putting a kid on the back. You wanna take your kid to school. You don't want to take the car. I think that's something very appealing about this. Are you ready for some more urban exploration? We're gonna go off trail. Here we go. Go through the park, over the grass. Now, you've probably noticed I've done this a couple times. Because it has a twist throttle, you can wheelie the thing like crazy. It's really a ton of fun. You just kind of bounce the fork, give it some juice, and up that front comes, which it works out really great when you have to loft off a curb, like we're gonna do right here. We're gonna go off this curb and you just kind of like, whoop, off you come. All right, time for a big steep hill test. How's it gonna do? I think it's gonna do just fine. This is crazy steep, 5 miles an hour, no pedaling. That's the limitation of a 500 watt with a 700 watt peak. It did it, super steep hill, did it. But the more powerful ones do it faster. Through the grass, the full suspension. It does really remind me of the BMX bike I had as a kid. So, what don't I like about the Windone K2 Fat Tire Urban Explorer? Not much really. I think the thing's pretty fun. Like I said, I've been riding it a lot. I'm not crazy about how the throttle is a little pulsy at partial throttle. Like, you can feel it doing it right there. Right? Not a big deal. I'm not sure I'm crazy that the power modes don't do anything. I think I'd like it if power mode 1 was actually mellower instead of all of them just being like bonkers quick. I don't like that the fender bangs the wheel when I do wheelies and jumps. I don't know if that's a flaw of the thing or me using it not as intended. The 20-inch wheels, I think it would be nicer if the wheels were a little bigger, but again, the 20-inch wheels kind of give it that really great look. I don't like that I hit my knees on this little bracket down here. That's a bummer. That's kind of all I got. I dig this thing. I dig that it looks like Steve McQueen's motorcycle. I think it's awfully fun. I think if I would have had this in college to get around, oh man, I would have loved this thing. I mean, it's so quick. I want mirrors. I keep like, there we go. There's something else I don't like about it. I wish it had mirrors, and I'm sure you could put some on. That's not the end of the world. I think because it is so quick, this is something you really should run the headlight. The headlight, you just hold this button right here, turns the headlight on. It dims the gauge, assuming that you're riding at night. But because this thing goes 25 miles an hour uphill, you're going the reasonable speed for traffic. Most car drivers are not accustomed to bicycles going this fast, so the headlight's a good idea. I like that it has a taillight. That helps a lot too. As we charge up the hill, 25 miles an hour, it's crazy to me. Crazy. I'm pedaling a little bit. It's because it's getting a little cold, truth be told. Warm up a little bit. And now I'm going so fast, can't keep pedaling. Jeez. So yeah, I guess it goes so fast, the pedal assist becomes kind of pointless. Oh, we gotta honk the horn. I'm a child, what can I say? Man, beautiful morning. Just love it. Getting out, breathing some fresh air, seeing the world, especially with these bike paths. Like, you can just navigate your town. Oh, look at that, a dog in a basket. Who doesn't love a dog in a basket? So what do I really think of the Wind One? Or is it Windone? Fat Tire K2 Urban Explorer. I am smitten with this thing. I really think this thing is an absolute gas. I think it's a little bit more practical in a lot of senses. It's super easy to ride. It requires very little of you. It's fun. And all of those things that they just make it appealing. It make it easier to want to grab. They make it easier if you want to hop on it and go for a spin. And that's the point of these things, right? You're considering one of these because you want something to get around town. You want something to play with. You want something to get around campus or get to and from work, or heck, go play with your kids or grandkids. Or maybe all of your buddies have these things now and you want to go play with them. This thing is a ball. I think I covered all the features. It's pretty straightforward. I left the headlight on. Look at the headlights on. I'm a fan. If you are considering one of these, and I kind of hope you are, because I sure love it, I have a coupon code for you. And if you want to learn more about it before you make a decision, I have some links in the description for you. Thank you for going for a ride with me today on this beautiful, spectacular morning on the Windone K2 Fat Tire Urban Explorer. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.